Does anybody know if the president played golf today? It was the day that John Lewis had his memorial service in Atlanta, and 3 presidents were there to recognize him. Now, I also understand, and I'm not sure how I would feel. I was never very proud that John Lewis didn't attend his inaugurations. I think, and boy, as soon as we had Obama was president, you know, the other side's leader, their party's leader, is talking about immediately making sure that this person doesn't get elected again. There was a time in my life when they used to have concession speeches. But that was when we had a civil society. What we are guided by now is anarchy, or rule by commerce. And that's not what anyone who had anything to do with the beginning of America had intended. They had a federal government whose responsibility for one of them was interstate commerce. And there used to be rules. And that's when America was great again. When the richest paid 90% taxes, but there were so many things they did in their communities and got credit for. Their philanthropy was remarkable. But it was incentivized by a tax code that understood that it wouldn't hurt them at all to pay it 90%. It would not change their quality of life at all. It would only control the amount of power that they had. That ensures Darwinian capitalism, where the competition determines how great you will be. But now we've got these oligopolies that rolled up Main Street because they were able to convince America's leaders that they're doing more good than harm. And it's a crime. That's what labor needs to be thinking about. Labor needs to be teaching people how to do business. But then I'm kind of uniquely qualified to do that because I've done it. And I understand that we need some rules, just like a football game, so that the guy with the most money can't put the most people on the field. Now, let's all be careful right now as we start rattling our swords about America. China has 3 times the population. They have a fraction of our moral consideration for human life. China couldn't give a shit if they lost 2/3 of their population. And that's why it makes me crazy that we allowed China to dominate us, to take away our manufacturing, to take away our jobs. And all you really need to do is take a look at the money and see that voting for this guy or that guy ain't going to change that at all. You see where the money that's important to them comes from, and you see the same companies, the same interest groups giving to both sides. They're amoral. And this is what Lincoln talks about. This is what Washington was so afraid was going to happen. So one of the things I want to do when I'm president of the American Postal Workers Union has set a strategy for locals to be able to go into their community and find local representation for the district that will represent the people in the district who need represented most. And that's not socialism. That's practical government. We need to replace the lawyers who we continue to elect. We need term limits. Well, here's your term limit. Vote for somebody else. That's not a solution. What we need to do is, at the local level, we need to let go of one of the two despots that Washington feared would be the worst kind of despotism. And here we are. We're controlled by our leaders because we hate each other. And that's not how we built America. I'm Tom Malm, and I'm running for the presidency of the American Postal Workers Union.